A couple injury things for you. Do you have an update on Reisner?
Yeah, Dalton will not make it this week. He's got an elbow injury that won't allow him to play this week. He would miss a couple weeks.
Okay. And then do you expect any COVID guys to be activated today?
Yeah, some of them have a chance to be activated today. Then there's a clump that could be activated tomorrow, and then another clump that could be activated on Wednesday. But they have to, get approval from the medical people first.
And then just last one for me, when you move up practice this week, is it your hope right now that you'll be able to have a regular kind of short week?
Yes, we found out late last night that the game got changed. So we're going to have some meetings tomorrow afternoon with the players, just meetings. And then Wednesday and Thursday, we'll have practices.
All right, thanks.
Go ahead, Eric.
Hey, Coach, what's the plan right now at quarterback for this last game?
Well, right now, Teddy is still in the concussion protocol, so we don't really have any new information there. So it will be Drew going forward.
And does he feel okay enough to play? He kind of seemed unsure yesterday.
I think so. I mean, the week will tell. If we had the practice today, obviously he wouldn't practice. But we're hopeful that he'll be able to improve as the week goes and end up being the quarterback.
And then last one on Drew, he mentioned that he thought the red zone was kind of the major issue offensively. When you looked back at the tape, what did you see kind of down there that needs to be corrected?
Yeah, we need to find the right combination of plays that can get us in there, especially when we're in there tight. We had two great chances. The one we lined up in an illegal formation, which nullified a touchdown. The other one, we didn't get enough in the run game. The pass that we tried on the first down play didn't work well enough. And then we tried that trick play for the fourth down play. And it was open, but too much pressure there on Kendall, and he couldn't get the throw effectively to Drew. But there's no doubt, we've had our ups and downs in the red zone all year. We've had some really good games and some games where it wasn't good enough. Yesterday was one of those. But it's definitely an area we place a lot of emphasis on, and we will continue to.
Troy, followed by Jeff. Go ahead, Troy.
Coach, as coaches, you have a chance to watch the film and then sleep on it. When you look at the aggregate of these three games, when you were in it at 7-6, Vic, how tough is it to see where you are now, given that everything was in front of you right there at 7-6?
Yeah, it's tough. It's disappointing. We played three teams that are probably going to be in the playoffs and fought them tooth and nail and had some tight games that were, 3-point game, 5-point game, and which to me shows that we're close. We're close to being there. We got to find a way to get over the top, and that's involves, players making another play or two. That involves coaches making better calls in a situation or two per game. But I believe in this team, and we're on the cusp of getting to the point where we want to be.
Go for it, Jeff.
Just following up on that, Vic, when you look at it specifically, when you say get over the hump, what types of things are you talking about there when you say make one more play, make one more call?
Well, in the red zone, for instance, making the play, making the good call to get us in the touchdown, to score a touchdown and not settle for a field goal or fail on 4th and 1, to better convert third downs, regardless of the down and distance. We had a problem in some games where many of them were too long. Yesterday, that wasn't really the issue. We had a bunch of 3rd and 5 and 6 minuses that we didn't convert. Finding a way to get off the field defensively, 1 or 2 more times on 3rd down, get another takeaway or 2 here or there. Those are things there, and those involve, both players and coaches.
Go for it, Nick.
Vic, a couple starts now to evaluate Drew. What are the improvements that you have seen from him as a starter in 2021 versus 2020?
Well, I think he's improved these last couple of weeks incrementally from game to game, and that comes with practice. That comes with reps and playing in the game. Thought he made some good throws today, had some good reads, some that weren't. He shows his mobility and an arm strength. And I think it's hard to compare last year to this year because this year was choppy for him in that he came in midstream in a few games and then, played in a game where there wasn't much practice. So, but I do see improvement being made. The talent is there. And I still think he can be an NFL quarterback.
Mike, then Andrew. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Coach, wrapping up your third year here, and there's going to be a lot of evaluating of your 3 years here this week, I think. One thing that's hurt you in these 3 years has been special teams, by and large. Anything, you look back on it, what the problem is and what you would have done different, looking back at things on your special teams play?
Well, that's a, pretty all-encompassing question there, Mike, especially when you frame it over 3 years. We've had a lot of good play in the special teams, but we've had our plays that have been, critically affected the game in a negative way also. And that's an area that we got to clean up. You don't want to negatively affect the game with the special teams. And that's happened, too often. And even if it's just a couple times, that's too often. That's got to be a solid area for us each and every week, that we at least go out there and cover the kicks, get them down. We make our kicks. Okay, we get some return yards. It's been inconsistent, no doubt about it.
Please lower your hand if you no longer have a question. We've got time for a couple more. Go ahead, Andrew.
I can't hear.
Andrew, we can't hear you. We'll come back to you. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, Vic, you guys were really able to run the ball a few weeks ago, and now that's sort of disappeared. What would you maybe put that on? I know Javonte and Melvin have maybe gotten a little dinged up. The offensive line's a little dinged up, but what would you maybe put that on, the run game not being there?
Coach, I think now you're muted. Hold on one second. Okay.
Yeah, I think as the run game goes, I thought we had some good runs yesterday, some good efficient runs. We didn't the week before. I think it's a little bit of everything that we always have to examine. Sometimes it's just a guy not making a block here and there, maybe a poor read by the runner, maybe the team loading up on us. But we definitely have to find a way in this last game to get our running game back to where it was, to being very, very effective and, building off of that with our passing game on the early downs.
Go ahead, Arnie.
Yeah, Vic, I wanted to touch a little bit on what Mike asked. Why do you think it's been so difficult to fix the special teams and the offensive issues that you've had? By and large, defensively, things have been terrific, but seems to be the same issues on offense and on special teams. Why is that proving such an elusive goal to fix?
Well, again, that's a all-encompassing question there. There's no doubt that we've tried to. We made it a major emphasis in the offseason at the end of training camp to bring guys in to help with the special teams. And I think a lot of those guys have done a good job in the special teams. We haven't been able to get a big return this year in either the punt or the kickoff. And many times the kickoffs have been touchbacks. We've given up some returns, no doubt about it. And some of those are kick related. Some of those are a combination of the kick and the coverage. And sometimes it's a combination of, multiple guys going in and out, to where we don't have the continuity in the coverage teams from week to week. But we got to find a way to get that better, and we will.
What about offensively? Things haven't seemed to be getting any better in that realm either.
Yeah, I think we've had some good stretches offensively. When Teddy was in there, we had some good games and some good run of games as far as winning and losing. Drew's been put into some tough spots. We've lost a little bit of a rhythm with our offense, both in the run and passing game. And, we just haven't been able to get over the top here of late. We haven't scored a lot of points. We haven't had rhythm in either the running game or the passing game on the early downs. And we haven't been able to convert the third downs, at a good enough clip. And, your question is valid. It's been a little difficult, but, I'm confident that with George here, we're going to find the answers to that moving forward.
Final two. Go ahead, Brandon.
Vic, I know you obviously want to win your last game this season, but do you and George have conversations this week about maybe working in some of the younger guys if you have your full complement of, regular players available, the guys on the COVID list? Will you still try to maybe, take some snaps off to get more looks at younger guys?
No, we're going to play the guys that are available to play, and we're going to do anything and everything we can to win this game.
Andrew, are you back? Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Vic, I wanted to ask you, from watching the film, of course, a lot of guys had to play that have rarely and maybe never played before. Did any of those guys kind of jump out as showing more than maybe that they might have shown on the practice field? And if so, who were they?
Yeah, I think Micah Kaiser came in there and did a nice job for us. I think Jonathan Harris did also. Those are two guys to me that of the guys that got the play because of the situation yesterday that did well. And the rest of the guys did everything they could, with the limited exposure and preparation that they had for the game. But overall was pleased with the competitiveness and the play of all those guys overall, really. But with Micah and Jonathan being two of the better ones on defense, I thought Seth Williams came in and made a play, which I was confident he would. And I think Seth has made a lot of progress over the last month on the practice field, and it showed in the game.
Coach Fangio, thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.